So this is sales 101,
Yeah.
okay? And understanding what most people are, what situation most people are when they open a business, they
Hmm.
start their home care agency, they don't have a lot of budget to put towards digital marketing. So what does someone have? They have time. They have time and what we call sweat equity. So someone that's opening a business should take the time and put it on their schedule and make it part of their business plan to find referral partners. And so what does that look like?
Hello and welcome to The Intake, the official Home Care Marketing Pros podcast. My name is Dylan Medina, the Client Success Specialist here at Home Care Marketing Pros. And with me today is Brady Quick. Now, he's going to be our co-host, but he's also our co-founder of Home Care Marketing Pros, and he has over 40 years of professional sales experience turning leads into closed clients. So, Brady, how you doing? Thank you for joining us.
Doing well, Dylan. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Looking forward to it.
absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Thank you for coming on again. Now, this week we're discussing a topic just a little bit different. We're discussing 5 simple ways or steps to get your first private pay client. So, pretty heavy duty topic, but Brady, you outlined some 5 steps for us, so we're just going to go over them and kind of expound on them as we go. Okay? That
Sounds good.
that first yep, that first step that you talked about was build a foundation, not just a brand before you start marketing. Could you expound on that and kind of explain what you mean on that first step?
Yeah, so a lot of people when they're starting, they're thinking about their brand story or like the brand that they want to represent and differentiate themselves from competitors. Which you can try that, but what we have found from experience in the industry is that the brand is not as important as what people think. I have several instances of agencies that have thought that they had brand equity. There's one story of a company in Florida that had 6 different companies that they bought that had overlapping markets because they thought that the brand was going to be specific to a targeted prospect that they were looking for. After a year or so, they realized that there was no brand equity in the different companies, and so they combined them all into one, and they just went and started with one brand. The point of that is that when someone is looking for private duty, they don't really know who a home care agency is. They don't know a brand. For instance, I think Honor or Home Instead is one of the largest. And if you ask anybody if they've ever heard of them, nobody has. Maybe a Visiting Angels commercial on TV they might have seen once in a while.
Hmm.
But the reality is that there's no brand equity, or there's really not a big significant uplift or value in focusing on the brand. So what we say is building a foundation is more important, and that foundation is the foundation for how you will be found when your prospect looks for you or searches for you, which is a website and a Google business profile. So those two things are very important to pay attention to and invest in. And I mean invest meaning there's lots of low tier providers for
Hmm.
websites. You can get a really cheap website for inexpensively and get it out there. But it's similar to investing in a brochure that's very low quality that you never hand out to anybody. If you have a website that is not SEO friendly or built to show up in search results, along with a Google business profile as well, you're not doing yourself any service, because just because you have a pretty website doesn't mean you're going to get any clients, and you won't be able to get any revenue, and you won't be able to grow. So
Right.
paying attention to the foundation, making sure you do your research on who can build me a website and build my
Right.
Google business profile up so that it will benefit me as I move through my first year of growth.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. And so for somebody starting from scratch then, what do you think, along with what you just said, are absolute must-haves before you are even going to begin to start attracting private pay clients?
Yeah, you've got to. I mean, you got to have business cards because you're going to be doing. You're going to be looking for referrals.
Hmm.
You have to have a good website built and
Hmm.
your Google business profile.
Yeah.
And then the third thing is listings. So there's a way that we put your business name, address, and phone number, and we add that to over 70 websites that will help you be found in the search results which is good for SEO. So those are probably some easy things, not easy, but first things that I would focus on if I'm starting out of the gate.
Right. Absolutely. And it just, no matter how small you are, helps you look not only more trustworthy, but, get found better, I'm sure as well. So
100%.
yeah, that was the first step. So build your foundation. The second step you outlined was focus on one service area instead of trying to reach everybody. How does a home care agency owner go about doing that?
Yeah, good question. Good point here. This step is because if I'm in a metropolitan area, let's say for example I'm in Tampa, and I add to my website and I say home care Tampa. That's good, but Tampa's a big place. So if I'm in New York, home care New York. Well, guess what? If your communication or your the verbiage on your website, the content on your website is broad, counties, big cities, Philadelphia, you're including every home care agency in that area in that language.
Right.
Meaning, if I'm searching and I'm in Wesley Chapel, which is an area, a small community north of Tampa, and I put in Tampa in my website,
Hmm.
well, and if I'm in Wesley Chapel, I'm not going to find you. There's too many competitors. But if I have a website, it's in Tampa, but also has a lot of content for Wesley Chapel, my
Right.
services that are Wesley Chapel, location pages Wesley Chapel, what I do in Wesley Chapel, then when I'm searching from Wesley Chapel, you have a better chance of finding that website. And so it's kind of like another illustration might be if I'm going to build 10 Chick-fil-A's in the Tampa market, would I start by building 10 parking lots first with a coming soon sign? Then I build 10 buildings, and then I build 10 and do the interior build out. And then I start, if I do it one at a time and do all 10 at a time, I have
Hmm.
no revenue. And how long is that going to take? It could take a year or two just to get a store open. But
Right.
if I focus on one store in Wesley Chapel, I get it up and running and I start producing revenue. Now I take that revenue and then I go to the next area and I build a store all the way up. Then I produce revenue on that one. It's the same concept as don't have multiple locations until you're successful in the first.
Right.
Like you wouldn't do that.
Right.
So focusing on that is content on my website or running ads in one geographic area where you know that there's people that are wealthy enough to pay for private duty. They're going to be doing the searching so that you show up in the search results so that you can start getting clients. That's the
Wow.
key.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes total sense. But would you say that would help a brand new agency grow faster rather than just like you're not limiting your opportunities, even though it may feel like that from a certain mindset? What would you
Yeah.
say?
No, I don't think it limits you as well at all because if someone searches from you 10 minutes away from Wesley Chapel,
Yeah.
let's say New Tampa is another area. And if you did content, one piece of content in Wesley Chapel, one piece in New Tampa,
Yeah.
one piece in Temple Terrace, and you kind of went around Clearwater, blah, 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 went down the road, you're not going to show up in the search results anyway. So you might as well hammer down in one area and get
Right.
the phone to ring and start getting leads so you can start getting revenue. It's all about
Right.
revenue because if you don't have revenue, businesses go out of business because they don't have enough sales, period. You need sales. And so you got to focus on one area first and then reinvest in other areas as you grow your presence online.
Yeah. I see. It's big baby steps there. So you have
There
your
you go.
foundation, right?
Yeah.
Start small one area specifically, and then the third step you said was create referral partner relationships immediately. Now, how in the world does somebody do that if they don't know anyone?
Yeah. So this is sales 101.
Yeah.
Okay. And understanding what situation most people are when they open a business, they
Hmm.
start their home care agency, they don't have a lot of budget to put towards digital marketing. So what does someone have? They have time. They have time and what we call sweat equity. So someone that's opening a business should take the time and put it on their schedule and make it part of their business plan to find referral partners. And so what does that look like? It's every week I'm going to meet hospitals, discharge planners, people that are going to refer someone to home care, someone that needs home care. What about community centers or senior living centers?
Hmm.
You're going there every week and you're just dropping off a card, letting them know who you are, and making sure you're on their radar to give you a referral. Now, it might take weeks, might take months, but if you are consistent and you get creative, bring them donuts, maybe do an event in their for their people that are in the facility,
Hmm.
but you're consistent and you're going there and you putting in sweat equity to where
Hmm.
you can begin to get referrals and get revenue to keep your business afloat so that you can grow. The in the beginning, it's essential that sweat equity is part of your business model in the beginning for
Right.
sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's big in networking, right? To start those conversations. You're not just feeling for, asking for their business, but you're just building relationships with people is what I'm
Big
getting at.
time.
And you have to
100%.
do that because if you're in the home care industry, you like, helping people anyway. So it's the part of the
That's
relationship.
it.
So
There you go.
awesome.
100%.
So referral partner, and then the fourth step you said was make it easy for families to find you online. Is that kind of a part of the foundation that we were talking about, or is it a little bit more in depth?
Yeah, it's a little bit more because like your website and your Google business profile and the listings is like entry to the game.
Mhm.
So you're in, right?
Okay.
Now
Yeah.
how do you make it rain?
Yeah.
How do you make it rain, right? So showing up in the search results is not just a website. It's content on a website.
Okay.
So content that is optimized for local search results, meaning people searching for. So if you're in Tampa, let's go back to our Tampa example. If you're in Tampa, Wesley Chapel results are different than New Tampa results and different than Temple Terrace, Clearwater. All of these areas are different results because it's going to show, Google's going to show the searcher searching for home care, dementia care,
Right.
whatever the service they're looking for to help mom or dad. It's going to, Google is going to show them, and AI is going to do the same thing. So AI is going to use the same sources that Google is showing from websites. So the more content you have on your website and the more pages and blogging that are optimized for local SEO, the stronger you're going to grow and the more leads you're going to get. Period.
Okay. Okay.
And so yeah, and it's the same. And then the other part is your Google business profile. Okay, now you got a Google business profile, but guess what? How many reviews, 5-star reviews do you have?
Hmm.
I can't even express how important this is because we're thinking through the brain of your prospect, which we know from years in the industry and from other people like Stephen Tweed, who probably this is where this came from, that said that 60% of the time, the oldest daughter is going to be the one doing the search. 20% of the time, it's the next oldest daughter. And the other 20% of the time, it's a family member. So, okay, let's get into her brain. What does she do? And who is she? She's in her 50s. She's going to do search and she's going to look for help for mom or dad with a key like dementia care or, some kind of search, right? And then she's going to look on Google and she's going to see it. And then she's going to compare reviews. Whoever has the most reviews is going to get the phone call. If they don't answer the phone, which is going to be our next step,
Yeah. Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
going to just check that off and go to the next one on the list. But she's going to start with the top reviews. So you think about that, how crazy it is. You're going to invest in marketing. You're going to have a good website, a good foundation. You're going to add pages to your website. You're going to show up in the search results. If you don't have Google reviews, all for naught.
Right. Right.
So you've got to do all of these things to have success and grow. Period.
Okay. Okay. And in terms of just a couple specifics, because when home care marketing pros maybe help somebody with their marketing, you say building these pages, right, or putting this kind. How many pages are you actually adding at that point in time? Because I'm assuming if you're going to grow steadily, or you want people to find you,
Yep.
families easier, right? What exactly? How much volume is it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, our company has specific plans. So we have like a gold
Okay.
plan, a platinum plan, a diamond plan. So the gold and the platinum plans are for people that are just starting out.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
is it really going to have the horsepower to compete against the big guys? Probably not, but it gets you in the game. You got to start somewhere. So our diamond plan, which is most of our successful agencies are on our diamond plan, only because it's the most pages that we add to a website. So a diamond plan starts out with a website with like 25 pages, And then we add another 60 pages over the first 12 months. So 60 pages in a year. Those pages are specific to local SEO. So you think about it, every time you add a page to a website, it's like adding a billboard on the map. So this is called equity. It's like website equity. So if you think about paying for leads, which is pay-per-click, Google pay-per-click, it's a place for mom, caring.com, that can get the phone to ring, right away. Great. Do that for sure. Especially when you're starting out.
Yeah.
Because organic takes more time.
Right.
But long term, your organic, you own. So if you think about it, if you did diamond for the first 3 years, first year you got 60 pages, or you got a total of 85 because you got 25 for the website. The next year you got another 60. I got 120. The next year you got 180, over 200 pages. It just makes sense that that's going to equal better search results for the searcher, and you're going to get more leads.
Okay.
And the beauty of it is over time, your cost per acquisition, how much does it cost? Do I need to spend to get a client? That cost should come down over time if you're building organic content on your website.
All right. Yeah. That makes it's like that digital real estate you're saying. It
Yep.
grows. It grows.
Yeah.
So awesome. So that
Yep.
was step 4, but you mentioned step 5. We were kind of going into it, but you said you need to respond quickly and follow up consistently. What does that specifically look like for a home care agency owner?
Yeah. Well, this is sales big time. So this is another piece of the puzzle. If you don't have a good sales process, a good sales system in place, then spending money on marketing is ludicrous because you're just going to throw your money away.
Yeah.
So answering the phone is one of the biggest weaknesses in the home care industry.
Wow.
So we've got examples of clients that we can see because in our CRM software, we can see every phone call, whether it's answered, goes to voicemail, or missed.
Right.
And I've got one client in the last 30 days missed over 400 calls. Now they got I think 1,300, but we think about a client opportunity could be worth 40,000 conservatively, lifetime value, 40. There are 24-hour clients that need help full time. That could be worth 100, 200, 300 in revenue, 1,000. What is the cost of missing a phone call? So we use data from A Place for Mom because A Place for Mom is the largest home care agency in the United States, and they are not even an agency. They're a lead gen. So what do? They steal your leads, and they sell them back to you. Okay, but guess what? Because they're the biggest, they have the best data. So one of the things that they say is that it takes if you respond within 5 minutes compared to 30 minutes, you are 21 more times likely to get a client.
Okay.
21 more times. Okay. And they also say you need to follow up at least 5 times. And they say that 10, and I said this earlier, 10 leads to 1 client. So I hear agencies complaining that my leads are bad, but guess what? Our company, we talk to a lot of agencies that are not qualified or they're just not the right fit to get to our perfect client, which is a diamond client. So do I look at all of these other ones that come to us as like a problem? No. Why? Because if I say it takes 10 to get one, then the other 9, I got to talk to 9 people to get to my 10th. I don't care. So what's the value of that client? 40,000 divided by 10, right? You could say that it's $4,000 per lead.
Right.
Right? So every bad lead is worth $4,000 if you get the 10th and it's worth $40,000.
That's a good way to think about it.
So it's the right mentality. So not only respond quickly, but also have someone on the phone that knows how to handle the call. Empathy.
Right.
Ask questions. Care about the person and what they're going through because they're emotionally charged and they're looking for somebody that cares about them.
Yeah.
Follow up.
Yeah.
Do what you say you're going to do and do it immediately. Follow up to the leads you can't get a hold of consistently and then put them into a drip campaign where you're sending them the email newsletter every week and resurrect them if they don't call you back immediately. Who's to say, and this is called regeneration pipeline.
Yeah.
Who's to say they went to the next one on the list because you didn't answer the phone
Right.
and they had a bad experience? And then you
Yeah.
send them an email newsletter and then they call you. So you got to think about all these things. So that's why it's important to follow up, respond, keep marketing to these people. You never know. And if you do that, you're going to have a successful business.
Right. Absolutely. It's the people business. So, but you mentioned in this sales process, um, following up consistently. If it's not like a super warm lead, like how many times should you expect to follow up with someone? Is like in sales, is there a way to format that or?
Yeah, I mean, I would follow up no less than 5 times
Okay.
before I marked it closed lost, and then I would continue to email them.
Okay. Wow.
You never know. We've had clients that have gone through the sales process and they decided to go with someone less expensive. A year later, they call me up and say, "My bad, let's go."
Right. Yeah.
Totally. A year later. And guess what? They're getting my email newsletter every month or every week. And so I'm keeping myself in front of them so they don't forget who I am.
Wow. Yeah.
If someone chooses not to go with us, I just say, "No problem. We'll be here when you're ready." And just, it's okay.
Right. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Brady, not only for your time, but your good insights on how to get your first couple private pay clients. So we want to thank everybody for joining and listening in. If this is your first time with us, this is The Intake, the official Home Care Marketing Pros podcast. So be sure to subscribe and let us know any topics you want us to discuss in the future. In the meantime, Brady, thank you for joining us. So we'll see you next time.